Greetings. Greetings to you. Well, it's day 3 and the beginning of the Third World War, and it is expanding, it's getting bigger. It's including more nations are getting involved. It is rather unfortunate. But the question is, how does this global conflict affect Guyana? How will Guyana benefit, be it negatively or positively, from this ongoing Middle East conflict, which is in fact the start of the third and final war that Earth may experience? Any other war besides this one would be forces unlike what we have seen as humans, forces that we would have gotten accustomed to seeing coming out of Hollywood, be it alien forces, be it angelic forces. But if there must be another war after this, it will be a war of supernatural proportions, a war against the soldiers of the devil and the beings in the upper heavens, or we call celestial beings. Welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I am Dr. L. Prasad, and that is my identity. It is my identity. When my mother gave birth, she gave birth to a baby, a human child. She didn't give birth to an Afro baby or a black baby or a dark-skinned baby or a light-skinned baby. She gave birth to her child, a continuation of her generation. And she did not give me an identity. I identify myself based on my own perception of reality and who I am. And I've said, I identify as Indian. Indian, it's not a race. It's an ideology. So you people need to stop pointing a finger and think that when you talk to an Indian man, you're talking to somebody who is racially classified as that. No. If you're born in India, you're an Indian. The ideology that is merited to Indians, I speak of Hinduism, Buddhism, and all of the ancient pure way of life. That I identify with. I'm conservative. I could say Hindu, but I'm not a daily practicing Hindu, so I can't say that I'm a daily practicing Hindu. So I, for short, Indian. Their lifestyle is what I love. And since we all know that India is the supreme nation, who would not want to be identified as Indian? And you have this mighty, towering nation that stands tall amongst all the others. So let's move on. I know the newcomers who are not used to me, they're not used to my style. They come on and they start pointing a finger and they start drawing conclusions that this guy don't know what he's saying. This guy has identity issues. This guy has inferiority complex. This guy needs a psychiatrist. This guy, this. They start judging me. They didn't listen, they start judging. They think I have a problem. But I invite them to look in the mirror and see who the problem is. It's them. Because I've said a few days ago, I appeal to Afro-Guyanese to stop abusing law enforcement, the police. Not because you do not have a system in Guyana where the police are empowered. They are given permission, they are given the legal coverage from the government, from the state, from the constitution to uphold the law according to the title, meaning protect their person at all costs, anticipate a threat, and neutralize the threat before the threat becomes a disaster for you, the police officer. Other countries, the police have that privilege, but in Guyana, they don't. Why? Because the people the police has to police are people who look like them, black people. So they exercise that service with some amount of restraint, taking into consideration that he's a brother, he might be a criminal, a murderer, a thief, a thug, a gangster, but he's a brother. No, it's not a brother. As long as you're a police officer, every other citizen, including your blood, is a citizen and a suspect. Police officers are not the same. You're not a citizen. 24/7, you are a police officer. So no civilian can treat you as if you're a civilian. You're not a civilian. You've been tasked with the responsibility to uphold the law. So you cannot bring yourself to that level as a civilian who is ignorant of the law and think that we're buddies. You're not buddies. You need to be above the law as a police officer. When I say above the law, not to break it, but to enforce it. So when you see continuously, black people in Guyana, forget Trinidad. Trinidadian Prime Minister have to deal with those thugs there. I'm concerned about Guyana's security. And now it seems I have to campaign for the police too. When you have them niggers slapping police officers around, pushing and thugging and pulling and cursing them and abusing them, and they're filming it and celebrating it, glorifying it on social media, what does that tell the rest of the world? How, Miss Rodriguez, Suzanne Rodriguez, how does that help tourism? You tell me. The rest of the world is seeing the breakdown of law and order in Guyana. How the heck will they come to Guyana when they see that niggas in Guyana are beating up on the police and they're getting away with it? So if a foreigner goes to Guyana and is faced with abuse, how could he depend on the police, he or she depend on the police to protect them when the police can't protect themselves against them Negroes in Guyana? You tell me how that helps tourism. Apart from tourism, how does that help President Ali? How does that help Guyanese in the diaspora to come back home to invest? When Guyanese in Guyana aren't protected from the Guyanese in Guyana, how will the diaspora be motivated to say, well, that time is over when they were bullied, slapped around and robbed? And how? When they're seeing it played out in real time every day on social media. Mr. President, how is that going to help? You have fucking niggers. And the thing about these Negroes that are captured on film abusing police officers, they're the ugliest of the fucking ugliest. And they make themselves, they attire themselves like such demons with their long, nasty hair and tattoos everywhere and a hole here, a hole there. And they're up there, their profile, their dress code, it's terrible. You want the police to defend themselves against those Negroes by negotiating, by talking. You see a video there, you see where a police was slapped in the fucking station. This Rasta man pushing his hand up in the station. You have another one where at some event, somewhere, where I don't know if it's the same person, but another Raston abusing a police in brown uniform, an inspector, an officer in uniform because he was arrested for having a firearm without a license. These niggas have no regards for the law or law enforcement. None. They think they're fucking above the law. Just because they might have some drug money somewhere, or they might be a part of some ghetto gang or some shit, or they may, I mean, they something, some criminal gang they might be a part of. They have access to thugs to give them a few dollars to go murder somebody. They think they're indispensable because they have these sickening connections. They think they're indispensable. They're not afraid of anybody. Who? You see, when I get in this position, it's unfortunate that all I have is my words. I can't really act the way I wish to act. I can't. Because I don't have the tools that are necessary to act. But you think if I didn't have to be Minister of Home Affairs, but if I was in any position in government that I have that oversight to deal with these situations, you think anybody, whether the police allowed it, whether the police is in the pocket of whoever, whatever you want to say, as long as you take the oath, as long as you wear the uniform, you have the badge, you are protected. When you are caught as a law enforcement officer, when you are caught in corruption or in crimes, then the law will deal with you worse than it deals with criminals. Until then, you are protected. So anybody who puts their finger on a police officer, much more an officer of the law, not a corporal or a rookie, even a rookie, but you get the point. And I had the position of authority to deal with them. I will make sure that I order the special forces to go and get those thugs that abuse the police and give them the first entrance treatment before they get into the lockups. They'll be denied station bail, and I'll make sure the system is in such a way that they don't get court bail. Let them go and think it over in the prison. You have that, and it's a continued thing in Guyana where Negroes are beating up on the police and getting away with it because they might be a part of some fucking gang. Who gives a fuck about gangs? This is why you're in the Home Affairs Minister. You need to give the police the orders and the protection to hunt like dogs, hunt all them fucking niggas who think because they're in some gang, hunt them down, shoot them, clean the country up, hunt them down. And you police officers, if you know you're not satisfied with the salaries you're getting, you must know how much police officers are paid. You must know before you enroll. If you know you can't live with that, don't join the force. Don't join the force. Don't go through the academy. Don't go through the lessons. Don't waste your time only to be corrupt, to help criminals break the law and get away with it. And then those same criminals turn back and abuse you because they know something about you that you don't want the public to know. So when the criminals now abuse you and beat up on your asses on camera with no remorse, you have to drop the charges against them because they have you in their pockets. If you are such an individual, don't join the force. Don't choose another path of life. But you can't be somebody who stands for law and order, who wants to protect and serve, and get involved in such situations where you are grown men. Grown men are being slapped around by fucking ugly niggas. I'm angered, man. Who these Rastafarians? Because you nut your hair and you think you're king, you're special. People are supposed to be afraid of you because you have a fucking ugly face and some long, nasty locks, stinking locks. You think you are special? You're terrorizing your own people. And then a lot of you are cussing me out and calling me a racist. And you see what black people are doing to black people in the force. For what? You want special treatment. They should allow you to walk around with an illegal firearm. And if anybody else gets caught with it, they'll face jail time. But you are special. You should be allowed to walk around with firearms and shoot in the air because it gets you pussy or dicks. Which one? Which one? You ain't special. You know who's special? Let me break it down to you. The people who take advantage of the free education that President Ali is offering, they're special. Doctors, some lawyers, not the Mohammed's lawyers, some lawyers, not Nigel Hughes, some lawyers are special. Teachers, nurses, engineers, laborers, workers, men who treat their wives properly, women who treat their husbands properly, children who obey their parents, those are special. But when you walk around thinking that you have this entitlement to break the law and do what you want, and the police have to be okay with it because somebody knows your name, what you might have some followers online, you might sing some stupid nasty songs, what, because you have some kind of popularity, then you should do what you want. That's the influence you want to influence your following. Whatever the reason is, if a police officer gives you an order, you need to fucking obey. Don't question, obey. That's the law. You need to obey. You don't resist, you obey. But every country, no matter where you go, it's always the Negro that is insulting, abusing, beating up, and fighting and hunting down police, black people. And they're inspiring other races to do it because they seem to get away with it. It's an ugly sight. Home Affairs Minister, deal with it. Deal with it. Because all these niggas can do, all these fucking niggas can do, and I say it, you think you're head of gangs? You think people are afraid of you? Wherever you come from? Because you're a terrorist, drug smuggler, some criminal network. You can pay somebody to go shoot somebody else. You can murder people. You think people are afraid of you because of that? You niggas should look in the mirror. That's why you're so miserable. That's why you don't live peaceful lives. That's why you die early. Look in the mirror. You are the problem with society. You are the problem with Guyana. You Negroes. Every time there is an event that are organized by black people, people are shot, killed, robbed every fucking time. No matter where. You're terrible for society, man. You people are terrible for society. Terrible. Everything nasty you do, everything violent you do, everything. And the most you can do is threaten people. send people to send threats and all. That's the most you can do. How the fuck do you sleep at nights? How do you sleep at nights? Everywhere in the world, you people are pests, man, fucking parasites. And you want me to identify with people like that? You fucking stupid or what? You're stupid or what? Look at what they're doing to the police. Black people, to black police in Guyana. Forget like I said, forget Trinidad and these other countries. Look at Guyana. Who in their right mind want to identify with that group of people? We say Afro guys. Who? Fucking demons. You throw me off my. And while I'm on that note, I've said many times that when it comes to controlling what happens in the country, the government should censor people who, YouTubers, podcasters, whoever it is, when they come to Guyana, censor what they do, what their purpose is, and let them sign agreements. These people who are organizing shows and putting shows, that's all they do. That's the only entrepreneurship you can think niggas can get involved in. Planning some party, and how you plan a party? Print some flyers, hire some band, that's it. That's all the brain you need for that. You sell tickets, you get some niggas to come sing, you sell some alcohol, some drugs on the side. That's it. That's their business sense. That's their business model. That's what they do. That's what they went to school for. So when they bring these artists from Jamaica and wherever else, they bring the worst of the worst, the scums of the scums. Look at Jamaica. Jamaica is the murder capital of the world. Jamaica. And out of that country, they're bringing influencers and musicians to contaminate Guyana. I was very disappointed when I saw President Ali taking a picture with this fucking, who is it? This Vibes Bartel, whatever he names. A man who spent years in prison for murder. I was against that. That was terrible. That was a bad move by the president. To associate votes or no votes. Don't drop your standard to the likes of those people. So it was good that the Guyana police force or whoever it is that prevented one of those so-called artists from coming in the country to perform. It was good. Ban them. Let them go to Africa. They have more Negroes there. Ban them from getting to the country. You don't need them in Guyana. Guyana has enough problems. And the fact that Guyana is building and Guyana is rising, you don't need these parasites, these cancer, to come around to deter the direction that Guyana is going in. Stop the abuse on police officers. Stop these niggas from coming in the country. You're taking people to come to the country from America, take the best. Delete the black ones. You don't want them. And I stand by my statement. I said a time that the ERCs are controlled by the PNC, the Ethnic Relations Commission, the so-called Ethnic Relations Commission, that is going after PPP or persons they presume that is associated with the People's Progressive Party. Yeah, when it comes to dealing with pundits from the PNC that conduct online racism and all these kinds of stuff, cyber crimes, they get a free pass. They publish fake wanted bulletins for these people, but they don't go after them. They don't go after them. Because the people who obstruct society in Guyana are the blacks. All the people online, the Norman Browns and the Ben Shop and the Burks and all of these other fools, the ERC can only publish fake bulletins for them, but they never go after them. Because these people are PNC. And the ERC is a PNC organization. They're prejudiced against Indo-Guyanese. They're prejudiced against the people from the PPP. So if you have issues with anybody from the PNC, don't go to the ERC. You got to use other means. You won't get justice. But people like me, yeah, the ERC would come after people like me because I'm perceived to be pro-PPP. So yes. But if I was on behalf of the PNC and the WIN people, I can say whatever. They won't bother with me. They'll pretend. So if it's a constitutional body, as you seem to claim, the parliament constituted the ERC, then unconstituted. Disband the ERC. You got a Guyana police force, you got a civil serve, the civil courts. If somebody has an issue with you, take them to court, sue them. Forget the ERC. So look, we're in the third day of the war, and the same news you're getting, I'm getting. So we understand what's happening there. We need to understand how is this going to affect Guyana. Is Guyana going to be having an inflow of refugees from the Middle East? If so, how will they get to Guyana? They have a long distance to travel. But I've said yesterday, this is a reshuffling. You got to destroy to build again. And the nations that Guyana need to continue to embrace and stand with is not necessarily the West. It's America and Israel. We have heard since the time when they had issues with Gaza, how the Mohammeds sponsored protest and wrote letter to the American embassy condemning the issue with Gaza without having any proper documentation regarding that. And again, they're condemning the Middle East conflict in favor of Iran. Told you that Muhammad is a Shia Muslim. He's an extremist. He's a hypocrite. Look at his family. Look at how he has his wife. She in a hot weather, in a hot climate like Guyana, he has that woman walking around. Well, good for her. She has air conditioning. But the point is, imagine if he hadn't that money that he has. He would have had his wife walk in the city, totally covered, sweating like a horse. That is inhumane, but he didn't care. He doesn't care about that. The man is an extremist. And people like that you are supporting to get political power. And not you. The people who are supporting people like the Mohammeds are Christians. Well, I'm to your religion. The man is a Muslim extremist. And you're supporting him. Now he's against America. He has the same attitude with the hate America thing. Hate Israel, he hates America. But is paying 250,000 American dollars for Americans to lobby on behalf of him, not going to prison. But he hates America. Because if he had loved America or Guyana, he would not have poisoned their society with the drugs and the illegal guns and evading taxes and all these things. He would not have done that. And I'm not saying that. I'm repeating what the indictment says. He wouldn't have done that if he had any love for the US or Guyana. But since he doesn't, not even for his children, outside children, we have patriots. Patriots in Guyana who even or despite the fact that the Mohammeds are billionaires and they give out arms, according to them, they give out arms to the poor, build houses for people, buy motorcycle, buy outboard engine, give food hampers. Despite they have allegedly done all of that, the man has abandoned his own flesh and blood. His own flesh and blood. Why? Why would you disown your own child, Muhammad, or children? They look like you. You can't hide it. Why? Your father didn't abandon you. He should have, because look what you got him into. You have the enemy, people that you are daily endeavoring to propagandize and all the negative publicity you're spreading on them, like the sheriff group, all the stuff that they say about that organization. But yet that organization reached out, or they were contacted, or your child and child mother, Muhammad, reached out to the sheriff's charitable arm, who stepped in and helped your own flesh and blood, which you should be doing. You know how it would be embarrassing for me if I have outside children and I'm a billionaire and I disacknowledge, or I don't want to give financial support, and my enemy does it. I wouldn't be able to show my face in public. It would show the public that the enemy is the better person, that I'm a hypocrite. That's what happened to you, Muhammad. You are a hypocrite. Your own flesh and blood you can't support. You have the sheriff company from their charity. And this is the first time they would have mentioned that, but I think they've done charitable work many times, but they don't say these things. But you're the only one who, well, you stop because you're opposition leader, so you don't give charity anymore. Now people have to make you cake. They have to make cake for you now with the monies you would have given them 2 years ago. It's a good thing they saved a bit of it so they can put the stuff together and buy you a cake. Take care of your responsibility, Azradin. Do the right thing. Reimburse the sheriff group for paying the light bill for your son's mother's house and for giving support to your son. Reimburse them. Come on, man, take the pride away. You are the billionaire, remember? And your people are accusing me, your people, Mohammed, constantly calling me out and saying I have all these children all over the place and I don't support them. How can I? I'm not rich. I'm not rich. There was a time I used to, but I can't afford it. But if I was rich like you, all my kids would have a big fancy mansion with security. Everything private. I'll even build them their own private schools. That's how generous I am, but I can't afford it. I'm not rich. Don't you see my thing on my Zella, and I'm begging people for donations, as your people say? You are the billionaire, and you have your enemy helping your own flesh and blood. Shame on you. You want to be leader of Guyana? You want to starve the Guyanese children? And I thought you liked women. Imagine that. I thought you liked women. Only men who don't like women behave like that. Yeah. So Guyana, we're not celebrating the war, but Guyana is an oil producing nation. The fact that Iran is under attack, it means they would not be able to produce any oil. They wouldn't export any oil. The whole region is compromised right now, and the region produces oil. All of these are countries that have been pulled into the war, 9 countries to be exact, and more would join because Iran is indiscriminately attacking the whole region. It's the third world war. The thing is, Guyana is in a good position because Guyana is producing oil. And this conflict is going to create a vacuum and a massive oil shortage, massive, which is going to drive up the prices for oil. The price of oil would skyrocket. That benefits Guyana. Imagine at a time like this if you had the PNC as the political government. In this conflict where you have this opportunities that Guyana has been presented to Guyana, where the oil prices would raise and Guyana would benefit 10 times more. Imagine you had a corrupt regime like the PNC to manage the inflow of the billions that will come as a result of this war. Oh my gosh. Them niggas would be slapping the ministers, not just the police, the ministers too. But it's a good thing that we have who? President Ali. We have an accountable regime. to manage and overlook the period of Guyana in this time where we have the opportunity and the advantage of the oil. So while this is the case, it will affect global prices, not just with oil, commodities, accessories, necessities. It will affect that. The cost of living is going to skyrocket. Good for Guyanese is that it would not impact as much as it would impact the people in Suriname. Because life in Suriname is, I can tell you, it's the gap is real bad. But I don't blame the president now. I mean, that's what happens when you change governments. Take some time to recover. And now Suriname is caught in this situation with this global conflict, which is going to affect even greater the economics of the country, and the people are the ones always to suffer. Guyanese are in a strategic position, a better position, because Guyana produces oil, the economy is growing, is booming, is running fast. So now with this conflict, Guyana will just shoot off. You can't afford to have any distractions, any stumbling blocks at this point. Because any stumbling blocks would interfere with this progression of Guyana. So when we talk about stumbling blocks, we're talking about what? If we don't get rid of the Mohammeds, and if the Mohammeds are successful with their lobbying to get some kind of compromise, and Guyana experiences financial sanctions, oil or no oil, Guyana will suffer. So in the meantime, what do? We capitalize on what we have at our disposal. What do we have? A good government that is in a strategic place to manage the resources of the country, to manage the oil income of the country, and to make sure that the Guyanese are properly taken care of. I emphasize on the raise of salary, the increase of benefits. That should be on the agenda from this point, because as the president and the economics or the persons who deal with the economy of Guyana would understand, war means hardship for citizens, not politicians. Hardship for citizens. And since the citizens have entrusted the Guyana government to put them in the place that they are right now, let's make sure that our citizens are not impacted the way the rest of the world would be impacted. Think about this when you're busy extending the sentiments of Azruddin Mohammed regarding this conflict. Think about this. There are people who left Africa and relocate in America, most of them illegally, and they naturalize themselves. And the opportunities that they found in America, it is so great that a lot of those people are in the Congress in America. They became politicians. They became business people. They became rich in America. No other country they could have been provided with that opportunity. But these are the same people who are on the sideline criticizing America, protesting what America is doing, when they're living in a country, the US, that they're benefiting from. The same with Israel. Do you know how many Africans live in Israel who migrated, who were illegal, became naturalized? There are millions of black people in Israel who went there, got a life, built a life, became politicians. They weren't turned away. They weren't discriminated against. They got opportunities they would have gotten just like in the US. Which other country affords that? So why you're cussing out these people? and saying what you're saying, understand that America and Israel provide opportunities for people who don't deserve it. So be thankful and count your blessing. Don't get involved. You live in the US, serve the people. You live in Israel, serve the people. Because you could not have done it in Iran or no Muslim country for that matter. Try going to Dubai and becoming a politician. Try going to Iran or any country. Let's look at China. Try going to China, Negroes, and get in the parliament or any consular position or starting a business, buying a home. Try it in China. Give it a shot. Or you could do it in Israel, in the US, in Europe, in India. You could do it. But you don't think. Try it in Africa. Go to any African country and try to build a life. Try to build a life. Enter politics. Try to buy property. Open a business. You can't. But you do it in America. You do it in Israel. You do it in India. You do it in most of the other European countries. Don't be ungrateful. Count your blessing. So when you join these protests and you're fighting for this one or that one or whatever it is, you can't give a basis to why you do it. You don't know why you do it. You have no idea as to why you do what you claim to do. None whatsoever. But when they get your ass and they deport you back to Africa or back to Guyana, you call Trump a racist. You call people a racist. But you don't account for your actions in the people's country. You rob, you steal, you protest, you break, you conspire, you collude, you do all these things, and they're supposed to turn the blind eye because you're black. No. I wish there was a place. I wish there was a country that Guyana could have deported those nasty thugs that are destroying Guyana to. I wish there was. But unfortunately, they're Guyanese. You can't send them anywhere other than prison. But if there was a place you could have sent them, I support that. They go to Ghana is good. Go to Ghana or Uganda or one of these African countries, they could go there. But since we have a government that loves black people, they wouldn't endorse that. But I would have provided the facility to say, hey, if you hate the country, if you hate Guyana, you hate the friends of Guyana, like America, Israel, and Europe, and you hate these places, then you have a free ticket plus 6 months rent to go to any African countries. You'll feel at home. You can repatriate back to Africa. Yes, you could go there. You're back in the motherland with your brothers and sisters. Then you don't have to hate anymore because you're there with people that looks like you. You can starve together, die together, whatever it is. Just go. But no, you don't want to go. You want to stay in the country that you're not building, you're not paying taxes, you're not contributing to, and just complain, destroy it, complain, conspire, spread propaganda, spread fake news, but you're not leaving. It's like a relationship with a lot of you black women. You're in the relationship, you're ungrateful, you are a bitch, but you're cussing the man out, complaining about him. Oh, he's this, he's that, he's bad, he's this, he's that. You're justifying fucking several men while you're in your relationship because you're criticizing the man you're with, but you wouldn't leave. You're not leaving. If the man is so bad that you have no respect for him, You fuck another guy, you tell him, he knows what you're doing, but you still wouldn't leave because you're a loser. You're a loser. You're terrible. You're a loser. You know very well you don't deserve him. You just want to leave because he provides an avenue where you live a life that you can't get with these other losers that you're fucking. Same thing with the country. You hate Guyana, you're criticizing Guyana, you're now joining with the Muslim countries and Azruddin Muhammad to criticize the conflict that benefits you, but you wouldn't leave. Leave the country. Go to Barbados. Yeah. Go to Jamaica, that hellhole. You have many pro-black countries in the Caribbean, many that hates President Ali. They hate Guyana. You can go there. Many of them, you feel at home. You wouldn't leave. Why? Because you know very well the best life you have is in Guyana. You have all the freedom you need. You can eat 10 times a day. You can shit 20 times a day. You can wear what you want. You can even rob and hide from the police. You can do all of that. That's why you wouldn't leave. Because there's nothing better out there. So in the meantime, what my advice is to you Negroes, stop the fucking complaining and do something that will benefit your country. Clean your area where you live. Pick up your garbage. Remove the stuff from the trenches in front of your house. You know, pull some grass. Do something that benefits where you are. Stop the complaining. If you're in a relationship and you see that your man is making a difference, he's making an effort, go in your pocket. You have a job too. I'm talking to black women. The ones who have a problem with me, I'm talking to you. Go in your fucking pockets and help pay the bills. Them men that you're fucking on the side, don't do it for free. And then your husband or your boyfriend have to take the pressure on his shoulder to provide for you. If you're gonna fuck them, at least sell the pussy. Help the boyfriend out, help the husband out. Don't sit around there and pushing shit on Facebook and TikTok and all them nonsense, and the man still gotta provide for you. As you say, Guyana is hard. So if Guyana is hard, you could be a liability if you're not contributing to the relationship that you're in. But no, you talk a lot of shit, you help to abuse the police, you cuss out the president, you spread fake news on Facebook, you spread fake news on social media, you criticize people like me, and you're full of shit. So again, Guyana at this time is in the best hands we could think of. Ain't no one else who could have taken charge of Guyana at this moment in this time of global conflict. You live in Guyana, be thankful, be blessed, be appreciative that you're not in the Middle East right now. You're safe there. And you have a president that loves, actually, imagine that. The first president who actually loves his country. Granger didn't love the country. You know that. Not even Barnum. It always takes our Indian brothers and sisters to fix things when these Negroes fuck it up. Again, like India. Gotta fix everything the world is damaging. So look, we want the war to come to an end, but it's not gonna come to an end. It has to be. We just have to count our blessings and thank the universe that we are where we are, safe. At a time now that Guyana is producing oil, this is in Guyana's favor. It's not right. Guyana didn't start the war. Guyana just happened to be an oil producing nation. And Guyana is not sanctioned. Guyana can sell its oil. So when the oil price goes up, Guyana's income goes up. That is beneficial to the Guyanese people, the economy, and the future of the country. Be thankful and appreciative, fellow Guyanese. And to Azruddin Muhammad, take care of your responsibility. That lobbying form is not going to get you out of trouble. Trump in Trump, if you escape extradition. You have to go. And you will go. We have a few days more for the 12th. We'll see what happens then. But for now, I want you to share this live. I need to get your comments. Follow me on social media, TikTok, Facebook, right here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. And to all the persons who are being attacked on social media because of me, I understand what you're going through. I hear your pain. I understand what you're going through. But don't let those people deter you. You have an opinion to share, go ahead and share your opinion. They can't harm you. If they threaten you, say, hey, I'm not a cop. You people are known to threaten cops. I'm not a cop. Tell them that. Let them know how nasty it sounds. Let them know how bad it sounds. That all they do is beating up on police. And to the police officers, if you can't handle the job, quit. If you have intentions to becoming a police officer, stand up to them thugs. The law must protect you. If a Negro raises his hand to fight you or takes a knife out or whatever it is, use your weapon. That's what it's there for. Take out your weapon and neutralize the threat. Don't look at him as, oh, he's a brother. No, he see you as that. Because if he had any respect for you as a brother, he would not disrespect you as a police officer. That's not brotherhood. He expects you to turn a blind eye to his crimes. No, quit the job. You don't deserve to be a police. But don't allow niggas to abuse you if you are a police officer. Home Affairs Minister, protect your men and women in uniform. It may take a while for me to be Home Affairs Minister. It may take a while. In the meantime, Ministry of Home Affairs, protect the law, the men and women in uniform against the niggers in Guyana. Only niggers do that. Beat up on police. Black people don't do it. Niggers do. Then deal with them accordingly. So, I thank you for your attention. Until next time. Goodbye.